Good afternoon, Postal family. How's everybody doing? My name is Syed. Welcome back to my channel. What's going on this Thursday? What I'm discussing today, our beloved Mr. Renfroe had a sit down with the NAPS podcast on the NAPS podcast. As you know, NAPS is for the supervisors of the post office. So that's interesting thing that's making news. I'll get into what he said and just a general overlook. But first, if you're new to the channel, my name is Syed. Postal content is what I do, love to do. Thanks everybody for all the support. Keep giving me the thumbs up, smash that hype button. Thanks everybody for all the support. Keep the messages coming in the comments. Always keep them coming. Love them very much. All the communication, I can only say thank you. I love it dearly, what you guys share. All that good stuff. Everything I say on here is from my views, my research. I don't speak on behalf of USPS, Post Office in any of my videos. So our Mr. Renfroe talking on NAPS chat. Let's see what he said. Renfroe sat down with host Bob Levy to discuss the state of the Postal Service. Here, the Unity theme. Renfroe opened up explaining that he was on a supervisor-focused podcast because carriers and supervisors all have the same stake in our future. He pushed for a unified front against legislative threats, regardless of the friction on the workroom floor. Staffing and retainment. Interestingly, Renfroe downplayed the national staffing crisis to some extent, calling them isolated issues. While claiming the total number of letter carriers remains steady, this is a point many carriers might find controversial. The Amazon strategy. Renfroe explicitly stated that UPS should do everything we can to secure and keep Amazon's parcel volume. He used the volume delivered over the last few years as a baseline for what the Postal Service needs to remain competitive. Opposing service reduction. He came out strongly against the Postmaster General's Delivering for America service cuts, stating that reductions in service are really not the way to go if the USPS wants to remain a service-oriented agency rather than just a business. Board of Governors. He called for postal stakeholders, unions, and management associations to be more involved in vetting nominees for the Postal Board of Governors and the PRC, regardless of the political party. So that's some things that he discussed. He's coming on the supervisors podcast like that. It's very strange, but Renfroe is he's living out there, living his life, making the six figures off of our union dues. Let's go and basically think about it for a second. While we're out here fighting 3996 battles and getting grilled over stationary events, our union president is talking shop with the bosses. Is this unity to save the post office, or is he out of touch? NAPS details. Renfroe sat down with Bob Levy. We discussed the unity plan, the staffing claim. Amazon is king. He doubled down on the idea that USPS needs to do everything to keep Amazon's volume. All the good stuff has to come out of Renfroe. Just a few weeks ago, Independent Carriers podcast, Renfroe was acting tough, saying we're going on the offensive against management's harassments. But yet here he is talking on the NAPS podcast. Then he goes on the NAPS pod, talks about how we're all one big happy family. You can't have it both ways. You can't tell carriers you're fighting excessive management on Monday and then tell the supervisors you're their best friend on a Tuesday. And don't forget, James Henry and other union leaders are watching this. There is a real divide in the NALC right now, and this podcast appearances are basically the pre-game for the 2026 election. So what do you think, guys? Do you want your union president sitting down with the supervisors, build a bridge, or do you want him in the trenches, focus purely on our contract and our pay? Of course, focus on our contract and our pay. We know the starting pay is too low. We know the 12-year wait for the top step is a joke. Is talking to NAPS going to fix that? Probably not. You all please do drop a comment. Let me know what you all think about him talking on the NAPS podcast. There's a lot of divide in the NALC, as we can see. That's because NALC president shouldn't go both ways. I mean, either stick with your carriers, or he's been not for us but with day one. So that's some of the stuff we discuss in the NAPS podcast. Like I was saying, the elections are coming, and it's gonna be decided. The next president. It's just a matter of time now. So this guy continues to degrade himself, negatively, and we just need that new fresh blood, the new president, to come take over and change up things. This meeting with the supervisors, it just doesn't bode well for him, man. I mean, like a lot of carriers keep mentioning, he's got to focus on our issues, the two major, the getting to the top pay in so much time, 13 years, 12 years. I think they got to change the pay table to one pay table. Well, that's already in the works. I mean, we've been asking for that. And what they're discussing is, extra breaks in the overtime period. Anything over 10 hours should be another break fit in there. So that makes sense. And he was talking about the board of governors. President added 3 more members. They need to be vetted better, and not just being appointed by the president. We don't know what their background for those 3 is, and what they're gonna do on the board of governors. Because the president is all about privatizing the post office. And Renfroe, on one thing he does stand, it says, keep the post office public, like how it's been for over 200 years. So, with this podcast, this guy always, gives us mixed reactions. I mean, you don't, as the NALC president, by no means you go on the supervisors podcast and talk on. I know, that's strictly, you're going against the carriers, and something like this for him to do is not out of the ordinary. He is out there. He gets out of himself, a weird fellow, gets himself in trouble and gets away with it because the higher-ups, the retired members apparently have a like for him. Or otherwise, when he got in trouble in New Orleans, that drunk driving, he wouldn't have been sitting in that president seat anymore had the higher-ups not have a favor for him. So this meeting doesn't bode well for him, like I said. I mean, but it's not unusual from what this guy is. Sometimes he goes out there, doesn't even think that, he's the NALC president. He shouldn't go on the supervisors and talk whatever he did, raise points there. I mean, they really don't care what the carrier's doing or what their goals are and everything, so this is not that strange. This news coming from Renfroe. He does stuff like this, wild stuff like this. Just a matter of time, few more months, we get to decide the next president. James Henry, who I'm with, have been with, will stay with, or the other guy, Mike Cariff, also a very strong contender. He's, he's right there with Henry. So I think it's going to come down to a few ballots that's going to decide who the president is going to be. But that's just wanted to bring out the insights on what he said on the NAPS podcast, the supervisors podcast. Something he shouldn't have done, but who's to stop him? The NALC president, he does what he wants, finalizing his final days as the president. Hopefully we get a new president in there and reset everything, start standing up for the carriers for a change. But a lot of you continue to mention in the comments like Henry's the same, and I'm going to continue to say no to that, simply because My reasoning is Henry never had the top seat. He was always rejected out of negotiations. Let Henry be on the top NALC presidency, then see what he does before we make a judgment like that, saying that Henry's the same. Highly unlikely. But to each his own. Y'all, I respect y'all's opinions. With Cariff, Cariff, like I said, he also has a lot of strong points right up there with Henry. It might come down to a few ballots at the end there that's gonna decide. It's really close. It's very close. They're running right now, so we'll see who's got the bright future. But either way, a new president, get everything reset, stand up for the carriers' rights, the future. We're always praying that USPS survives whatever this guy Steiner said. The fund's gonna run out. Highly unlikely. I think that's a lie too, just to get Congress to throw us some more billions again. Because they've been getting bailouts. Just 4 years ago, they got billions of dollars in bailouts. So how does that run out in 4 years? Well, it doesn't run out. I mean, that's a lie. That's a blatant lie. And, we shouldn't fall for it. He's just using that to come in front of Congress and, make it critical for the Congress to think, the billions are needed. But highly unlikely. I mean, post office has been there running everything. Management's bonuses keep coming. They keep hiring new supervisors and management. So the money is there. Trust me, the money is there. I mean, he's just like I said, trying to get Congress to throw us some more billions, get us another bailout. I mean, we're not that down under like he makes it sound like we are. So, we gotta really think who we believe, who we don't believe, think about it. So all that good stuff. But anyways, thought this was, making news. Our President Renfroe going on the Supervisors podcast and what he said, just throwing topics out there. I mean, he shouldn't have done that, but, who's to control him? He's the president, but you're taking sides with management who keeps getting the carriers in trouble, so they're not on our side by any means. And to go on there, you're just putting yourself that much more down, people not voting for you. So, it's just, it's hard to understand why he did that, but it is what it is. Counting down his final days, like I said, election coming up in a few months, and hopefully ballots. Then that's another thing. The president of the U.S. attacked the ballots, mail-in ballots. He wants to eliminate that. So things are against us right now. We're in a fight. USPS and NALC. We're in a fight right now. Another thing that I came across, the clerks. If you look at the clerks' pay table, they make more than carriers. I mean, that's no disrespect to the clerks and the mail handlers. All they work hard. Their unions fight for them. They're lucky they got that pay, but we really need to step it up. Our president needs to get us the top raises. Granted, it's all Postal family. Everybody, the clerks, mail handlers. I always want to appreciate you guys as well. Make it happen, but the carriers are the final stage, the delivery out there. So we gotta get reasonable pay too. The pay from the split when it happened 2013, the two tables, that really was worst. Anybody hired after that is making significantly less. If you look at table one, if you done the same amount of time, so that has to change. That's a big no. That's a big unfair thing. The two tables right there, you got to convert that into one, and you got to take that 12 years away to get to the top step, man. I mean, times have changed. A lot of every city that's expensive to live at. Times are really tough right now. We need that higher pay. Don't make that excuse. Money's in there. Money's there for management always, but not for the front line and mail handlers and clerks. We got to have that change. We got to have better presidents that can that have some to stand up to USPS in these negotiations and say, look, this is how it's gonna go. Our people deserve higher pay too, according to the times we're living in. All the all the rough things on the it's just rough times right now. So we got to get a better pay. Carriers, of course, those two tables got to go into one, and that time to get to the top step got to be reduced, man. Got to be reduced. It's too long, 12, 13 years. I know a lot of you in the message always say that's how it's been, so that doesn't mean we should leave it alone. I mean, things got to get better as we get more and more into the new year should bring some changes. The times are tough. Like I said, we need that change, and we'll see with the new president. Keep hope alive for the new president, whoever is going to be. May the better man win, and what kind of changes they'll bring. So that's it for this one. Just wanted to get you guys updated on what Mr. Renfroe has said on the NAPS podcast and a little bit of everything else. All right. Until next time, take care, guys. MailmanSyed out.